Good morning. I'm Doug Darbro, Director of the Graduate Program in Mathematics. And I typically like to meet with my students and just give them an indication of what our program's all about and what to expect. But since we've gone online, I figured that posting an orientation video is probably the best approach. So let's get started. A couple of things. I want to talk to you about the goals of what I want to discuss in this video. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the history of our class to give you a perspective on where we started and where we've moved into today. I want to talk about the design of the program, introduce you to the professors, not literally introduce you to the professors, but tell you a little bit about them. Talk a little bit about our curriculum and what it takes to complete your goals and what to expect. There's learning mathematics at the graduate level is challenging for many people. It was for me. My first year in working when I first went to graduate school was a challenge. I wasn't ready for it. I tried to approach my graduate studies as I did with my undergrad studies, and I was very successful in undergrad. As most of us in these types of programs were. But it's just a different beast. It's a different animal, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. So let's get into the history of our program. Okay. There was something else in the requirements. Essentially, I want to talk to you about technology requirements there. So a little bit about our history, guys. I was actually chair of the department in 2012, and the associate provost came to me and said, Doug, are you interested in is your department interested in starting a master's in mathematics to address the demand for dual credit courses? At that time, the state qualifications in Ohio were that you had to have a master's in the content. Now, since then, they've relaxed that a little bit, and if you have a master's in another discipline, typically a teacher-ed-related area, then you only have to have a cohesive set of 18 credit hours. But anyway, in 2012, the qualifications were a little stronger. So I thought about it. I took it to the department and sought out faculty interest, and I found out that there really wasn't a lot of faculty interest, and I was concerned with that. And I couldn't understand why my faculty members weren't interested in offering a master's in mathematics. Well, as I thought about it a little bit more, all 12 people, and let me back up a little bit. I have chaired a lot of search committees at Shawnee State University in the math department. I think I've chaired I think it's 21. The only reason I know this is because I just updated my Vita. But I started thinking about all of our ads for attracting new hires in our department stated a commitment to undergraduate teaching. So to throw this at the department and say, well, you came here because you're committed to undergraduate teaching, but by the way, now we want to have you teach graduate level courses. And I'll tell you, graduate level courses are they're more intense to teach. They're clearly more challenging. The second thing, my concern more was sustainability. Where were we going to get a consistent group of students to keep our program going? So anyway, guys, pilot cohort summer 2012. At that time, we offered it 50% online and 50% on weekend face-to-face sessions. Our students would get to campus around 5 o'clock on Fridays, and they would leave around 2 or 3 on Sundays. And we provided accommodations in the dorm, and we had a grant at the time and some funding from ODE that allowed us to do that. Well, our feedback from our students said, your program isn't going to make it if you keep requiring these face-to-face sessions. And most importantly, the instructional videos work. The online component actually works. Now, I had my reservations about it, but once we started receiving feedback from our pilot cohort, we shifted the ratio of the online to the weekend face-to-face sessions. Our next phase is we went about 75% online, but we still had 5 two-day sessions where students came to campus. Then we moved to 95% online, and only 2 face-to-face campus sessions, and that was primarily just for testing. And as all of you know, in summer 2018, we're moving 100% online. And I'll talk a little bit later about how we're able to do that. So our feedback was very important in in getting us to who we are today. So anyway, we created the program and received RAGS. RAGS is the Regents Advisory Council on Graduate Studies in Ohio. We received approval November, I think it's November 22nd, 2013. We received Higher Learning Commission accreditation May 2014, and again piloted totally online 2017 and 18, and moving fully online in the summer of 2018. So that's a little bit about where we started and who we are today. The courses, I think the best way to think about our courses are threefold. Now, if you are degree seeking, okay, let me explain. There's typically three types of students that we get. First of all, degree seeking. They want to complete their program. They want to hang the degree on the wall that they have a master's in mathematics. Second student, they already have a master's and they just need the 18 hours. The other student are the ones who come to us with a master's who is seeking the 18 hours, but they get in the program and they're like, you know what, I'm this far. I've got my 18 hours. I'm halfway through my program. Let's go ahead and finish this thing. So that's kind of the three, and believe it or not, about 75% of the students who come to me seeking the 18 credit hours only with a prior master's end up completing our entire program. And I think that speaks volumes about our program. But anyway, the courses, think about the core courses: Analysis 1 and 2, Modern Algebra 1 and 2, and Applied Regression 1 and 2. If you're degree seeking, you need to take at least 5 of those. You can take all 6, but you need to take at least 5. Electives, you're 3 to 4. Essentially, from core and electives, you need to have 9 courses. So if you take all 6 courses from the core, then you need to take 3 electives. And of course, if you take 5 from the core, you need to take 4 electives. The third component is the research. I teach a Quantitative Methods 1 and 2. It's actually a pretty popular class. Students seem to kind of like that stuff. Now the research sequence, where students work on action research and write a thesis, so carry out a research project. That's for degree seeking only. You can't take those courses unless you're degree seeking. But if you're seeking the 18 credit hours, you can take any of the other courses listed there. What to expect, guys, in a traditional 3-hour course at Shawnee State University or Ohio State or probably even Harvard, you meet about 150 minutes per week over 15 weeks. Well, that's around 38 hours throughout the semester. We offer our courses over 11 weeks. Now, I know I put 10 there, but we get an extra week in the summer that we lobbied for, probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we still get that. But for the most part, the instruction is spread over 10 weeks. So, guys, you can consider, and looking forward, you can plan for about 4 hours per week per course that you're going to be watching instructional videos. So, guys, if you're taking 3 classes, you're going to watch instructional videos about 12 hours. 2 classes, 8 hours. Do the math, right? And plus, you have time for assignments and studying. I think if you're taking 3 classes, you're probably going to be allotting about 25 hours per week. If you're taking 2, somewhere around 15 to 18. Possible schedule to complete your degree, summer 2018. Guys, you don't have to follow this. I have a student. He's a high school math teacher in the Portsmouth area. And, life got in the way. He's got kids and he's got family responsibilities and he coaches and different things. So he's taking a little longer. That's fine. But a lot of students want to get in. They want to check the boxes. They want to get it done and get this behind them. So we accommodate all goals and all interests. But possible schedule, summer 2018, if you're taking all 3 courses. I'll lay out a possible option for you in the fall and spring of 1819. Summer 2019 through spring 2020 would look something like this. In 2020, we're throwing our caps in the air, and you're completing the 1 hour research sequence again, your thesis component. So you get to graduation. Again, that's just a possible schedule. It's not something that you have to follow. Administrators, I want to give you a list of this, starting with Dr. Bauer, who's our provost, and Dr. Milliken, who's the dean, and Dr. Thiel's dean of the College of Graduate Studies. I think the most important people on this list start at the bottom. Our secretary for the Department of Mathematics, and Miss Penny Merritt, she's the director of the Graduate Center. Take me off that list. I'm not important. Dr. Blau's our new chairperson. But this just gives you an idea of a contact person if you have any concerns or any issues. Actually, the best person to contact is me, and I'll do my best to get you in touch with the person you need to be in touch with if I can't handle your problem. Important dates for 2018, summer 2018. May 21st, classes begin. August 6th, which I believe is a Monday, classes end, and grades are due August the 7th. Midterm and final exams are set by the instructor. Some instructors like 2 exams, some like 3. We are allowed that flexibility because our exams are proctored online. We're still in pilot phase with each of these 3 companies, so I don't yet know which one of these you will be using, but we'll be using either ProctorU, Examity, or Proctorio. It's really kind of cool, and these online exam proctoring companies allow us to go 100% online, because the main concern with RAGS when we got our program approved was the credibility of the testing component, right? How do we know that the person who's taking the test is actually the person that's supposed to take the test? Not as big of an issue at the graduate level as it is undergrad, but nevertheless a concern. So these online proctoring services are amazing. They have all these little indicators behind the scenes. They watch eye movement. It's really pretty clever to go through the training, all the things that they've got figured out about cheating. So more information about that once at the administrative level we decide which one of these companies we're moving forward with this summer. Professors, Dr. Blau, he is from New York, teaches Modern Algebra 1 and 2 and Linear Algebra. My doctorate's from University of Kentucky. Go Cats. I teach Regression 1 and 2, Methods 1 and 2, and I teach the research sequence. Dr. DeSario's from Temple, and he teaches a lot of courses for us. He's one of our key professors, does a great job with his classes. Dr. Lee, is from China, PhD from Wayne State. He's a researching guru, man. He's just putting out publications like crazy. Dr. Lee can teach anything he wants to teach. Usually he's so busy with his research that he doesn't teach a lot of classes. Dr. Nichols, who I will say just won the Distinguished Teaching Award this year from University of Minnesota. And he has taught the foundations of geometry class. And Dr. Whitaker he's the workhorse. He teaches probability analysis 1 and 2 and does independent studies. Probably one of the hardest workers we have in our department. Tips for success, guys. This is the stuff you really need to kind of tone into and listen to me. First of all, prepare to feel overwhelmed. This is going to be overwhelming. Explain your situation to your family, friends, significant others. Treat videos like lectures. In other words, take notes and recopy your notes. Create a weekly schedule. Form study groups. Attend online tutoring. I was in church the other day. My pastor was talking about, becoming, closer, better relationship with God. And he said, chances are you're going to have to give up something. And it made me think about this online program, the demands of it, and there is a good chance you may have to give up something, maybe your free time. Maybe you just have to be a little more selfish with your time, but you probably will have to give up something. And I often define success as persistence, perseverance, and patience. That's the way I got through my doctoral program. It's not always the best and the brightest, it's the people who persevere. Online tutoring, I'm going to give you more about that. Alex Kozan is going to be the online tutor. He's going to conduct three-hour online tutoring sessions that you join by Zoom. And I think he'll start those in the second week of the term. So anyway, I'm giving you these tips for success because I've seen I've seen our students be successful, and unfortunately, I've seen a couple of students who have not been successful. I think creating a weekly schedule is one of the most important things you can do to stay on task. Technology requirements, guys. You gotta have. It's an online program, so the first two bullets are kind of duh. Reliable computer and reliable internet service is a must. You need to be kind of technologically savvy. Open to learning programming language. We use R, which is a statistical software programming language, in regression 1 and 2 and quant methods 1 and 2. You need to be able to, create PDFs, submit your assignments via PDF and send those, scan them and send them as an email attachment. Guys, you need a scanner and you need a shredder, because when you take your exams at home, you will have to scan your test and send it as an email, or actually upload it to Blackboard, and then you'll have to shred the evidence. Let's put it that way. And it should make sense why we have to do that. Don't go out and buy one. I think most of you, if you work in schools, you can borrow a scanner, borrow a shredder. If nothing else, take your exams at school. What we usually do on the exams is, and instructors handle it differently, but typically they give like a 3-day range, maybe a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So you sign up for a 2-hour block anytime during that period of time. So that's the way exams aren't, at Saturday from 2 to 4, you have to log on and take your exam. You have flexibility when you take your exam. Hence the need for us to have you shred your documents. Final comment. Okay, let me back up on the other page. You can actually come to campus and take your exams face-to-face if you want. And believe it or not, we have a lot of students that drive a couple of hours just to do that. That's fine. We love to see you. We love for you to come to campus. But you don't have to. As we move our program further and further away from Shawnee State and start to get more students in from Toledo and Cleveland and Sandusky and just different parts of Ohio where we're venturing into now. Cincinnati's becoming, we're getting a lot of interest in Cincinnati. We're even moving into West Virginia and into Kentucky and Indiana. We have to have test integrity online. But still, some students live close enough where they prefer to drive to campus. So anyway, final comment. Guys, do your own work. Come on, really. This is becoming an issue that people are Googling questions and just copying it off the internet and submitting it as their own work. Yeah, I don't have to say it. I'm not going to go into this much, but if you get caught doing that, it's just a bad day for me. It's going to be a bad situation for you. We now have our triggers to alert us on that. It was an issue about a year ago. It became an issue, and those people are no longer in our program. So, guys, don't hesitate to contact your professor for help. I'm going to tell you, we're nice people. I really think we are. And we're here. We are committed to your success. That's my brand. And if you need an extension on an assignment, contact your professor. If you need something with advising, contact me. And it's important that we can stay in touch with you. So provide your preferred email to your professor as soon as possible. Check your email regularly. Don't fall behind, but if you do fall behind, talk to your professor. Just stay in touch. The things that concern us the most, and this is where the faculty will come to me and say, Doug, we got an issue with, student A. It's not that they write an email and say, hey, something's going on in my life. Can I have a week extension on the assignment? That's fine because you're staying in touch with us and we know you're not hiding. The students that we get concerned with and the students who typically don't make it through our program are the ones who don't communicate. They just kind of try to disappear. So anyway, guys, right student, right treatment, right time. I think you're the right student. I have evaluated your transcripts. I saw something in your transcripts or in your application packet that I feel you will be successful in our program. If not, I wouldn't have accepted you. The right treatment. I think we have learned a lot over the last 6 years in terms of delivering our content online. And right time, that's totally up to you. The first time I went to grad school, well, I mean, when I did my master's, I did my PhD a couple years later, it wasn't the right time for me. I had some things going on in my life that I had to work out, and it just wasn't the right time, and it almost just destroyed my experience. But I worked through it and learned that studying undergrad is different than studying grad school material, and I made it the right time. So. Again, is it the right time for you to be in grad school? Only you can answer that. If you have any questions, typically I say any questions, raise your hand. Can't do that here. Feel free to email me, and I'll respond to email very quickly, or at least I try to. So, guys, I hope you have a wonderful semester. I hope you have a wonderful experience. Complete your goals. Most of you are working on the goal of becoming credentialed and qualified to teach College Credit Plus courses, and that's our business. That's what we do, and I think we're really good at it. So, guys, take care, and we'd love to see you sometime. Take care.